to you guys about a dynamic warm-up. The difference between a dynamic warm-up, which is more explosive type of movements that are more closely aligned with the types of movements that the athlete will be performing in their sport or in their practice, and versus a static warm-up, which is a slow, long hold type of stretch. The difference is that we want to prepare the body for the demands that are going to be placed on the body when they compete, when the athlete competes. So a lot of us from my generation hold on to the static stretching as the way that we should prepare, because that's how all of our coaches prepared us. And that long, slow hold, static stretch in no way resembles for the body the kind of movements that we're going to be asking the body to perform in sport. So there's receptors that are embedded within all of our muscles and our tendons, our ligaments, and within the joints, and those receptors are constantly communicating with the brain, giving the brain information about position and change of direction and what muscles being stretched. And the dynamic warm-up really prepares and wakes up that system and really decreases the risk of injury. It also has been shown in research studies that a dynamic warm-up improves performance when they measure things such as a broad jump or 40-yard dash time or even a vertical leap. The other things that we want to accomplish with the dynamic warm-up are we want to elevate the athlete's core temperature. So a 5 to 10 minute dynamic warm-up should really accomplish that. The athlete should feel a little bit of a sweat going by the time they're finished with their dynamic warm-up, and then be prepared to go into their sport. Okay. So the way that we want to start the dynamic warm-up is take the athletes, do a perimeter jog around the entire soccer field, and on the sidelines, just a light jog, just kind of short strides, not trying to be aggressive, not lengthening strides, straight jog down the sidelines. Then when they get to the end lines, we want to do the karaoke kind of run where their feet should be pointing forward the whole time, and then they're crossing over and uncrossing, and then crossing behind and uncrossing, constantly going across the field, and they should allow the upper trunk to kind of rotate, so they get some rotation going on as well. All right, after they get around the field, and they can do that perimeter twice. So jog sidelines, karaoke end line, jog sideline, karaoke end line. Do that twice, bring them together on a sideline, and then we're going to go right into some dynamic movements. The first movement that we'll take them through will be butt kicks. So what they want to do is you want alignment. They should be focusing on core stability, strong abdominals the whole time, and the move should be a kick up where they're going to all tend to try and drive that leg forward. We really want that an isolated movement where they're kicking up straight behind like this. And then that movement would be moving across the field, maybe about 20 yards that way, and then we'll bring them back with a high knee movement where, again, they're trying to keep their body fully aligned and then drive the knee high. And then that one's a fast movement as well. Okay, so then we're going to progress into the next move is the Tin Man walk. Again, the focus is going to be on alignment, core stability. This is working into the hamstring, and a lot of people have tight hamstrings. So you want both legs to be pretty much locked out straight, and then it's just a high kick, and then right into the next high kick, walking across the field that way. Okay, most of the athletes, if they're tight in their hamstrings or weak in the core, you're going to see their knees are going to buckle. They're going to bend and they're going to buckle through the spine. Stabilize, stabilize, stabilize. They might not get that high if the hamstring is tight. That's fine. We want stability. After that, we're going to go into a walking lunge. Okay, if you're looking head on, you want to see alignment. Okay, a lot of people with weakness, maybe in the gluteal muscles, you're going to see that knee drift in out of alignment. Really correct that, okay? So you want alignment if you're looking at them head on, and then you want alignment with the knee over the foot when you're looking at them from the side. So if they're walking across and they look strong and stable, we can make it more challenging, but incorporating the arms. So you can have an overhead reach as they lunge. The next movement that we're working into is skipping. Okay? And for many of us, we haven't skipped in a long time, but all it is kind of a hop on one leg, driving up high into a jump, landing and then going right on the opposite leg. So from the side, again, the same principles, stability, core strength, just drive up right into the next leg. Okay, progressing into the next movement, we're going to do hip openers. Okay, open the gate. This is more of a rotational move, and the hips are so important in a soccer player. So this movement, we're going to drive up and then open up into a lunge. Okay, then drive up, open up into a lunge. After that, we're going to go into stationary leg swings. Okay, again, strong and stable, both legs straight. Start with a smaller swing and then progress. If they're working well with stability on the stance leg, then they can start to progress that swing higher and higher, always focusing on control. Switch to the other side, same thing. Okay, now we're going to work into some hopping kind of movements. But what we want to do with these, the first one's going to be forward hops, small, not big explosive jumps, but small, quick hops right into a sprint. Okay, so quick little hops and then explode into a sprint, and then the next movement will be lateral hops, small, quick lateral hops right into a sprint, and then the same thing coming from the opposite direction, lateral hops right into a sprint, so that they're really getting a crossover, they're really driving, and you can do that in small increments across the field, and then work it back with the lateral hops coming the other way. All right, the final move in the series that we're going to do with the athlete are bounding jumps, and we want to focus on their loading mechanics. So if you look from the side, it's like a squat. Okay, we want their shin to be vertical, get that butt back behind them, and then from there they're going to just swing the arms and explode into a broad jump. But I want them to get their arms up overhead so they get full extension through their body. And then they're just bounding, moving across the field like that. Now also focus on, watch the athlete from the front. The load and the landing should have full alignment, knee, hip, and ankle. Okay, so that as they land, that's what we should see. If we see a lot of this pinching in, you need to step the athlete back, maybe a shorter distance on their hop, and maybe not as high, so that they develop that control. All right? That kind of concludes this dynamic warm-up, and if you go through this warm-up yourself, you'll feel by the end of that warm-up that you'll have a little bit of a sweat going, and the body's really prepared for competition.